The Atlantic had a piece. Matthew Walther writes, outside the world inhabited by the professional and managerial classes in a handful of major metropolitan areas, many, if not most Americans, are leading their lives as if COVID is over. It is a very interesting piece that shows to how we're kind of living in two Americas, where you have the coastal elite cities where fear is king, and then everybody else is back to normal. There's no differences in these coronavirus numbers. There's been one fatality from Omicron in the UK and worldwide, and it was one person in the UK. And it is, I mean, it's crazy to read how sensitive people are about this. They're like, oh my gosh, the story in the Atlantic that everybody's responding to. It's called "Where I Live, No One Cares About COVID," and it's true. It's actually a good piece. Yeah, with Omicron. They had Omicron. They didn't die from Omicron. The one person. The Atlantic says, outside the world inhabited by, those professional classes, many Americans are leading their lives as if COVID's over. And the author, Matthew Walther, I mean, he's like not he's writes this piece at the Atlantic, and he talks about how where he is, everybody's kind of, they've been going, and that's the way we are here in Texas. I mean, everybody just is back to living their life. He says that I don't know a single person who's received a booster shot. When I read headlines like, here's who may need a fourth COVID vaccine dose, I find myself genuinely reeling. Wait, there are 4 of them now? I would be lying if I said I knew what all the variants were or what differences exist between them. He said, COVID is invisible to me except when I'm reading the news. In which case, it strikes me with all the force of reports about distant coups in Myanmar. Wow. And so that's kind of the way that many people are living, or they're living like that. That's kind of where they are. It doesn't bother them. And so you have all these people. Now check this out, because some people are so sensitive. So this one dude's like, and this is why a lot of the Atlantic, because that's an alternative view, and kudos to them for publishing it. Not kudos to their narrow-minded cultists that act like they're the only people that exist for the Atlantic to cater to. This one guy writes, and there are several of these. He's a verified, some reporter. He's like, I've canceled my subscription to the Atlantic. I love and respect several folks there, but when I refuse to support publishers of this genocidal nihilistic work. And he talks about the piece where I live, no one cares about COVID. And he's like, it displays a cavalier ableism in dismissing the sick and the dead. Shut up. Cavalier ableism. You know what? I'm so tired of the Chicken Little nonsense. There are people who don't, these people don't actually care about fatalities as it relates to the pandemic. They don't care about the variants. They don't care about comorbidities. They don't care about kids having to suffer and an entire generation sacrificing their happiness and livelihood for the old, when in all history, it's always been the other way around. They don't care about any of that. They want to use this and fearmonger as a way to keep the hand on the reins. That's it. That's all it comes down to. That's why these people are not honest about any kind of treatments. It's why they're not honest about the science involving mutations and mass vaccinations that are super fast. It's why they're not honest about natural immunity. We haven't gotten a shred of honesty from any of these agencies. We have a media that carries water for them, and we have the surrogates, even then, who attack anyone that asks a genuine question based in science with heartfelt concern, to dismiss them as being nothing more than anti-vax, so as to avoid them the hassle of having to prove their points in a debate for the public. Go to hell.